Welcome to The Warp. I'm Jack Rita, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Cosmic Encounter 5x5 variant, also known as the 5x5 challenge or just 5x5. What it is, how it works, why it's totally cosmic, and why it's totally bananas. So 5x5 is a mode of play where all the players, and this is a mode of play that I think is optimal for 5 players, but the player count is not set in stone, so it can be fewer or more. But each player is going to make a list of 5 aliens that they would like to have in a game, and it's a secret list. And then they're also making a list of 5 aliens that nobody is allowed to have. And then what happens is you all reveal your lists simultaneously, and any alien that is on your wish list of aliens that you want and is not on someone else's wish list or someone else's veto list of aliens nobody can have, then you get to have those aliens in that next game. And you could have up to 5 aliens at once. So 5 aliens at the same time is pretty crazy. I played with more. So it's totally doable, but there's a lot to keep track of. But part of the 5x5 is that you're looking to make some synergies. So you're selecting aliens that are going to play really well together, but you're also looking for those synergies that maybe aren't so obvious, because you don't want to list 5 aliens that someone else is going to think of, or either because they want it or because they want to make sure that nobody else gets it. So that is the tricky part. And part of it also, again, is you are trying to read the other players. What do you know about them? What do you know what aliens they like or hate, or don't think much of, or may overlook? So that is part of the experience as well. It's not as a big a part when you're playing with strangers, but if it's somebody that you have played with Cosmic many times, that can be a fun part of the game as well. So I've done a 5x5 challenge 3 different occasions. And on one occasion, I got all 5 aliens. On another occasion, I think I got 3. I don't think I've had fewer than 3. So I think it was either 3 or 4 the first time that we ever did it. Now, what happens if all 5 of your aliens get axed, either because somebody else wants them or because they were vetoed? Well, what's going to happen is, the first time we played this was you just didn't have any aliens. So that was the risk that you played. You're like, hopefully that doesn't happen. It didn't. The first time we did a 5x5, one player only had 1 alien. Now this was back in the Mayfair days, so the number of aliens was still pretty good. But I think we knew that we weren't using any of the Lucre aliens, so it was a smaller pool. Now in the Fantasy Flight Edition, you've got well over 200 aliens, so it becomes trickier to be able to think of the aliens that other people may be picking, and it's easier to get to 5 aliens because, again, there's so many out there. It's hard to think of everything. And there's a lot of really interesting synergies between some. So some off the top of my head, let's say that you end up getting Ace and Parasite. Now, Ace is an alien that wins the game if they start their turn with at least 1 foreign colony. They only need 1 foreign colony at the start of their turn, and they win the game. Parasite, of course, is able to ally with other players without being invited. So they just get onto the offense, and sooner or later, they're going to get a foreign colony. And if they can do that right before their turn, well, there they go. They've just won the game. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Another one is like Angler and Loser. So with Angler, you're looking for maybe negotiate cards in the other player's hands, so that they can't use those if they're out of attack cards to win on an upset, but you are filling your hand with potentially a lot of negotiates. And that's a card that you got a pretty good chance of finding them when you ask another player for them, as well as low cards. You get those low cards, makes it harder for them to win when you do call an upset. I like the synergy between Tortoise and Lloyd. Now, Tortoise is an alien that they don't really get a turn. Instead, every time it is their turn, they're picking up some rewards, with the idea being that at the end of the game, if they are not one of the winners, they have the opportunity to have a machine-like final push of one encounter after another, using their rewards, which they can stash out of their hand. But any rewards that they gain, they can add to that stash. So if you have Tortoise and Lloyd, now Lloyd is an alien that can get a lot of rewards by ensuring a lot of assets that the players have, cards and ships and their alien power. It's an alien that you technically can ignore. You can say, look, I don't want to make the deal, but it's so irresistible. And so Lloyd can be racking up those rewards that they're just going to save for that final push where they can maybe go for it alone. There's the classic Mesmer Vulch, which some people are like, well, that's a forbidden combo if you're playing with double aliens. Well, we don't have any such thing as forbidden combos in our games. It's just you have to think of your own. With Volts, they pick up everyone else's artifacts, and then Mesmer turns those into any artifacts. So that could be explosive. I was thinking about Tourist and Coordinator. Now, Tourist is an alien from Cosmic Dominion that has a little cruise ship that moves around the game, and they're trying to be in the right system at the right time in order to get a free colony. And a Coordinator, which is considered by a lot of players to be a fairly terrible alien. It's nobody's favorite. But they get to arrange those top three Destiny cards, and so that could be a big deal for helping, tourists get to where they are. Dictator the same way, so they know, all right, I need to be in the orange system. Let's just go to orange, and voila, it's done. Even something subtle like AI and Prophet. Now, Prophet's trying to predict who's going to win the encounter. AI starts to accumulate these tokens, which give them a number of things they get to look at. So later in the game, you're looking at, well, I want to look at all the cards in your hand so I can know whether or not you're going to win this encounter. Oh, it doesn't look like you are. So I'm going to use Prophet to predict the other player. It's a little more subtle, but those are two aliens that probably are not going to show up on anybody's want list, nor on their veto list. And if you can add in a few more aliens that either help you out with that, maybe mind as well as AI, maybe some other aliens like Busybody. Think about that synergy. Or you just get some out of the blue alien that it doesn't really work with the synergy, but it's still fun to have and good to be in there, like Greenhorn maybe, or Bride, where you're just like, all right, this is a fun alien. Joker. But the popular aliens, they're more likely to be on somebody's list. Like, oh, I'm going to put Joker on there. Or I'm going to veto Joker. I don't want anybody else to have it. Of course, you get that sort of scenario where, the idea that the prettiest person in school doesn't get asked out because everybody's intimidated by them. And so you've got nobody is choosing Joker or some other alien that everybody likes because they figure, oh, somebody else is definitely going to choose it. And then nobody chooses it. It's not on anybody's want list, and it's not on anybody's veto list. And so, you're kicking yourself. So that is part of the game, is just coming up with that list and thinking about what will work. That is really, for me, it's half the fun. It's just trying to outsmart the other players and get that great list. If you can get 5 aliens that all really work well together, and if one of them gets bumped out, you're like, I still have 4 aliens with a great synergy. I'm going to win this game. So that's the thing. And so you do have to manage, if you have 4 or 5 aliens, it's more that you have to manage in there. But again, if you are building synergies, then it's easy to be like, all right, this is going to help me do this, and this is going to help me do that. So it is very easy to manage rather than just 5 incredibly disparate things that don't relate to each other. That's something certainly you can do, and it can increase your chances of not only winning, but just getting to those 5 aliens. If you're just thinking, I'm thinking of 5 aliens that are under everybody's radar, and I'm just going to want to get them and take my chances with that. So that's 5x5. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done 5x5, how it worked, how many aliens did you get? Do you remember which aliens were in there? I remember in one of my 5x5s, I had Peniform, which it by itself has 5 aliens. And we sometimes play everybody's Peniform as a way, and we play Secret Peniform. So you're drawing your 5 aliens, and then you're secretly arranging them. So nobody knows what your second or third or fourth or fifth alien are going to be. They just know the one that's on the top of the stack. That's how we like to play Pentaform. And when we're playing, everybody's a Pentaform. That's how that works. But I love having Pentaform in my 5x5, because then I've got a little bit more to play around with. And if I can find, super synergy between those 9, 10 aliens, that's even better in this pass. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comment. If you're going to try this out, let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, hit me up. Other than that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.